Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you all for coming. My name is Detective Lieutenant Abram Markowitz of the Ulster County Sheriff's Office. To my left is Sheriff Juan Figueroa, Sheriff of Ulster County. To his left, Emmanuel Nagy, District Attorney of Ulster County. To his left, Jen Metzger, the Executive for Ulster County, County Executive, excuse me. To her left, Michelle Halstead, who is here at SUNY New Paltz, is the Vice President for Administration and Finance. To her left, Under Sheriff James Mullen, and to his left, Detective Emmett Vedder, the Ulster County Sheriff's Office, who is the primary case agent for this case. The reason we've assembled here today is to speak and announce an arrest in an ongoing investigation regarding a fatal hit-and-run motor vehicle incident that occurred on January 23rd, not far from this building right here on Route 208, involving a student here at SUNY New Paltz. Following that incident, the next day, the Ulster County Sheriff's Office began their investigation into a report of a missing person, and ultimately we located the victim and we were able to connect that incident to the hit-and-run motor vehicle accident. I'm going to let the other dignitaries here speak to some more of the specifics of the case. However, through steadfast investigation conducted by numerous agencies, including the Detective Unit of the Ulster County Sheriff's Office and the New York State Police and the Ulster County District Attorney's Office, ultimately this matter was presented to a grand jury, which resulted in an indictment on March 21st. And then that indictment an arrest was made following the issuance of an indictment warrant. An arrest was made by members of the Ulster County Sheriff's Office the next day on the 22nd. At this time, I'm going to turn this over to Sheriff Juan Figueroa for additional comment.
Thank you, Detective Lieutenant. This was a case that really shook a lot of folks in our community. The lack of respect of human life. The hit and run of Raymond Bradford on the date that the Detective Lieutenant stated a minute ago in January. The arrest of Ty Colbert on Friday, and we'll give more details afterwards. Really, it's been just pretty tough here in Ulster County with the recent fatalities and vehicular accidents just this year alone. Of course, there are other folks that are going to talk about that and discuss what we're looking to do in the future. I want to thank the members of the New York State Police, FIUs, ERU, HIDA Crime Analysis for the assistance in this case, and most importantly, SUNY New Paltz Police Department, and our detective squad for the hard work that the men and women put together during the first 48 hours of this investigation. And I can't thank you enough, all of you, for all the hard work that you've done. I'd like to turn this over at this point over to this attorney of Ulster County, Emmanuel Nagy.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good afternoon. My name is Emmanuel Nagy, the District Attorney for Ulster County. I thank everyone for being here. I see Chief Lucchese back there, the county exec, the sheriff, and all members of law enforcement who participated in the investigation of this case in particular, as well as all the other cases that Ulster County DA's office prosecutes, including the 2 other vehicular pedestrian incidents that have occurred in Ulster County within a short period of time. Many people, friends, family, neighbors, acquaintances, young and old, are hurting as a result, a direct result of recent vehicular and pedestrian tragedies in Ulster County. Saying that our hearts and prayers go out to those families, to those victims and their families and friends. Well, that's the human response to these incidents when they happen. While I am not at liberty standing here to discuss the details of any particular case or the ongoing investigation in other cases, as the district attorney and public official of this county, I want to mention that these are serious matters and they involve tedious and time-consuming work for all our local police agencies, as well as entities that are associated with finding out what happened and solving each particular instance. What happens in criminal and civil courts are one thing, but we all, drivers and pedestrians alike, should be mindful of their very nature are dangerous instruments that almost always end the life or seriously hurt individuals who are pedestrians. It is our duty as drivers and pedestrians to care and eliminate any further such tragedies in Ulster County. The case that's of the direct moment that we're dealing with is assigned to Assistant DA Paul Derohanesian. He is the Deputy Chief Assistant DA in my office. He has been working on this case and other cases without fail and dedicating all the time to work with our local law enforcement and to prepare the case for grand jury. The work that our local law enforcement does and has done in cooperation in these investigations is insurmountable. It's essential to the work that we do, my office does, as a DA, District Attorney of Ulster County. And I thank all the law enforcement agencies, all the leadership team members that have participated in this case. And we cannot discuss any details at this time because the case is pending. However, I want the community to rest assured that my office will do everything in its power, using all the legal avenues available to it, to prosecute this and every other case to the fullest extent of the law. Thank you so much.
Now we're going to turn this over to Ulster County Executive Jen Metzger.
Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. Our hearts are with the family and friends of Ray and with the New Paltz, SUNY New Paltz community. As a mother of children around Ray's age, my heart breaks for them. It's that kind of loss is incomprehensible. We have seen an unacceptable number of tragedies like this on our roads recently. And as a county, we're doubling down on our efforts to improve road safety. It is especially important in a community like this, where so many students get around by foot and by bicycle. I want to thank Sheriff Juan Figueroa and the Ulster County Sheriff's Office, SUNY New Paltz Police, the SUNY New Paltz Police Department, and District Attorney Manny Nunji for working tirelessly to apprehend and charge the responsible person. This is an important day in getting justice for the family. Going forward, we have to do more to prevent tragedies like this. We need zero tolerance for speeding, distracted driving, and aggressive driving. And we're working with the Sheriff's Office and state and local police to enhance enforcement, especially in high-risk areas. At the same time, we're working with our partners here at SUNY New Paltz and countywide to bolster education and awareness. And the county is planning to undertake a major educational campaign targeted at drivers as well as pedestrians and cyclists to ensure that everyone understands the rules of the road and respects them. We have to promote a culture of respect for all ways of getting around, whether by foot, by bike, or by car. and we must all act as responsible citizens on the road. That is the bottom line. I want to thank our law enforcement agencies and the DA again for their excellent work. We're committed to doing all we can to prevent tragic losses like this in the future. Thank you.
And now we will hear from Michelle Halstead from SUNY New Paltz.
Good afternoon. On behalf of President Wheeler and the entire leadership team of SUNY New Paltz, I want to thank the Ulster County Sheriff's Department, the District Attorney, County Executive, New York State Police, New Paltz Police, our own University Police Department, and all have committed their time and effort in solving this case, or bringing this case to conclusion. In addition to helping our students earn their degrees and credentials here at SUNY New Paltz, part of the university's role is to serve the citizenry of the region. This includes being a good partner and collaborator with our local government and other law enforcement agencies, especially in matters of public safety. The safety of our students and the care for our community is a pedestrian and cyclist safety is a true community effort, and it takes the help of many. We will continue to undertake educational outreach to students about safety measures on public roads and on and off this important work. Thank you again for all of your updates today.
As Sheriff Figueroa mentioned earlier, he did name the defendant in this case. Just to review that for a moment, his name is Ty Cobelt, 33 years old, from Gardner. He was arraigned this morning in Ulster County Court, and he was remanded to the Ulster County Jail in lieu of a quantity of bail, both secured and non-secured. I believe it was $250,000 cash, $500,000 secured, and $750,000 unsecured, whereby he will be produced for future proceedings. The last thing that I just wanted to review before we open it up to questions was just to touch for a split second on what the District Attorney mentioned, and reiterate that there has been some discussion about the amount of time that has passed between the incident itself and yesterday's arrest and today's arraignment. I just want to reiterate that these are very complex investigations. They involve an inordinate amount of work that has to be done employing the help of other entities, and all of this work has to be done in a forensically sound manner and in a manner that is protective of both the process as well as the suspect, and in this case, ultimately the defendant's rights. And we recognize that can appear sometimes that progress is not happening as fast as it seemingly should be, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. And with that, we will take any questions.
Can we have the correct spelling of the defendant's last name and the charges?
Yes, Cobelt, K-O-B-E-L-T. He was charged with the felonies of manslaughter in the second degree, tampering with physical evidence, and leaving the scene of a fatal motor vehicle accident. Thank you, I meant to actually mention that. Thank you for that.
How was it determined that he was the suspect in this case?
Well, I believe, I'll let the DA speak to that, but I believe that's going to be a question that we are going to have to, for the moment, not going to be able to speak too much to, because that's going to disclose investigatory steps and processes that, unfortunately, at this moment, because it's a pending case, we would not really be, it wouldn't be appropriate to discuss. Did you want to speak to that at all, sir?
Nothing more than I said previously.
I'd like to add something.
Sure.
So obviously, it's an ongoing investigation. Law enforcement cannot do this by themselves. And the one group of folks that I left out, they have to be our community. And it's our community that helps us at times when we have to solve cases. But mainly, the hard work of the men and women of our detectives. We New York State Police, and of course the District Attorney's Office, and New Paltz PD and SUNY. So that collaboration is what made this case happen, including our community.
You guys mentioned just how difficult this has been for the community, especially considering the circumstances of this crime where the victim was just left, to die on the side of the road. Can you talk a little bit about how this has impacted the community, both here at the university and in the surrounding area?
I went to college here. Personally, when I heard about this, it struck me to my core, because 40-something years ago, I could have been that individual. I could understand and relate to the college community that's so devastated by this type of incident. You live in New Paltz, you see the kids walking around happy with each other. You do not want to see anything that interrupts that happiness, that casual teenage life. The whole idea of being a kid, growing up, going to school, having fun with your friends. This severely interrupted that. In addition, there are three other incidents in Ulster County involving vehicles and students or young people being impacted severely. One of those incidents was not a pedestrian vehicle incident, but two of them are. One in Saugerties and another in Marlborough. These three particular incidents took away 4 lives. When it happens so closely, when they happen so closely together, you can imagine the synergy of the effect it has on the community. And that's one of the reasons that I am begging everyone to pay attention as a pedestrian, as a driver, as a user of the road in any which way that you are using the road. It's important because the impact it has on families and friends and the whole community. We want to avoid that. And it's not just one incident this time. It's a multiple effect of all those incidents that we want to make sure they don't continue to happen.
Sir?
I just had a question. What role do you see, where does law enforcement play into this, trying to prevent another one of these things, and also the engineering side of like trying to make safer streets or, complete streets or, engineering improvements to the road to, kind of encourage drivers to maybe go a little bit slower?
So I can speak to that. So I attended the last Police Chiefs Association meeting to propose to them that we create a task force to work together on beefing up enforcement. And we, at the county, plan to looking to purchase around 20 of those signs that tell you how fast you're going in real time, tell you to slow down, but they also collect data on speeds so that we can have an empirical basis for any complete streets kind of actions going forward. But we're really working on enforcement, and the plan is to beef up enforcement, especially in high-risk areas, and to provide these tools to communities. They'll be loaned out to municipalities, and we'll work with them in identifying the locations to slow traffic down. The engineering piece you bring up, I had written a letter that was co-signed by the leadership of President Wheeler and local leaders here in New Paltz and our county legislators to state DOT to do a safety it's the same request I made actually for Route 28 for that accident, and we need a safety investigation of where this incident occurred. We have received a number of communications from neighbors, from local residents who have been expressing concerns about Route 28, about how dark it is just past that second exit. There's, hardly any shoulder there. And a lot of students are living in off-campus housing down that road. So we have to address, the engineering side too. State roads, it's more complicated because that's state DOT's responsibility, but we will be meeting with them soon. For the county's part, on county roads, I've directed our county planning department to update our complete streets policy. Hasn't been updated since 2008, 2009 when it was adopted, for the legislature to consider. And I know that there's interest also in the village of New Paltz to update their complete streets policy. So that's kind of the third strategy: enforcement, education, and engineering, and we're pursuing all three. Thank you.
Thank you, County Executive. I just want to follow up on the enforcement side of that. Like the County Executive said, we had a meeting amongst the chiefs in the county and the state police. We all know what time of the year it is. It's the spring. So there's graduations that are going to occur, there are high school graduations that are going to occur, and we're going to step up on enforcement relating to that, especially discussing safety measures for pedestrians and bicyclists and drivers that are not paying attention to the road. So there will be an enforcement side of this, and we are going to tell the public when we do it. And I think that's an important step toward making Ulster County safer this coming season. Mr. BA?
Thank you. I just wanted to add this. The fact of this press conference and that you're here is designed to get the information to the community, to make everyone aware of these incidents and to put everyone on alert so that we can prevent such incidents from happening again. So in addition to what the county exec Jim Metzger said and what the sheriff has said, this press conference is one of those measures to prevent future incidents.
Are there any trends you're seeing in these recent hit and runs in relation to distracted driving, drunk driving, anything like that?
We're talking about patterns, and what are the patterns that we've seen as folks walking with traffic instead of against traffic? And we're gonna discuss that. I know that the county executive, and I know there's folks here from the Traffic Safety Board that are putting together, a training video we're gonna put out to the public relating to traffic safety, pedestrian safety, and bicyclist safety.
The trends also include, in each and every instance that has happened in Ulster County recently, and almost in every similar case, the driver has left the scene, apparently without any display of concern for the humanity and the dignity of the individual that was injured. Maybe the driver didn't know, but they should know. The law in New York State requires for every driver that when you have an accident that damages property or injures someone, that you stop, that you display your license and registration information, or that you report it. The trend I have noticed is that none of these incidents was reported by the individuals involved. That's a dangerous trend. In this instance, in this particular case in New Paltz, who knows if that victim could have been saved? In Saugerties, who knows? In Marlborough, who knows? And this trend we need to stop. When anyone has an accident, they ought to stop and check on the well-being of the individual or the property and report it, take measures to protect their fellow citizens, their fellow human beings. Thank you.
Thank you for your patience. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Just a couple quick questions. live off campus?
He lived off campus this semester.
And do we know if he was walking with traffic, against traffic?
Yeah, for right now, that's not a suggestion of the DA. We're not, at this point, not something we can
Okay, no problem.
disclose for the moment.
And can you describe the area that his body was found? So it obviously wasn't right on the road, because he was presumed missing and nobody had seen him initially.
It's my understanding it was just off the road.
Like in
And
brush, or was it like a
Detective
swampy
Vedder
area?
it was off.
Approximately 20 feet from the shoulder of the roadway, is where he was located.
Was it like a wooded area? Was it someone's backyard?
That was my fault. It was approximately 20 feet from the shoulder of the roadway, and it was a fairly wooded area.
And what's the posted speed limit through that section of roadway there where the collision occurred?
I'm not 100% sure. I know what I think it is, but I'm not sure, and I don't want to give you the wrong answer. We'll double check that, and we will confirm that for you and get that to you right after we're done here.
Yeah, thank you.
And this crash happened, it was during the day, right? Was it around 12:30, was it, or when did it happen?
It was, we believe it was in the afternoon, sometime after 5 p.m. is our estimate.
Okay, and were there any witnesses?
I'm not aware of any information to that there were any, I'm not aware of that. And if there were, I wouldn't be able
Be able to say?
I wouldn't be
Okay.
able to give that out anyway.
Just so you know, in every criminal case, in every criminal case, you need witnesses. There are witnesses, but to the extent that your question addresses whether there's an eyewitness, we cannot discuss any of that at this time.
Okay. Did anyone stop and anyone who may have seen the crash in some capacity stop and there were authorities, or did all of it unfold the following day when it was realized someone had died?
Right, our first involvement, the sheriff's office's first involvement in this began the next day with the receipt of a missing persons complaint. So that would suggest to me that there was no other,
People right there at the scene to
no
say,
other indication. That there was nobody that came to us prior to that.
got it. And who reported him missing? Is it someone from school?
Family member.
Okay.
And what about the Marlboro fatality? Is there any other updates into the investigation into that, or if charges are pending or anything?
That's a matter that's presently under investigation, and we cannot discuss any part of it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you again for your attendance, and we ask, please continue to keep Ray and his family in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you again.
Thank you.